Hi, hello, welcome. This is your new YouTube channel, Padips. For more science and max videos, refer our channel. The best time for new beginnings is now. I would like to dedicate this quote to all the present tense students. All the best, guys. Do well in your board exams. Today we are going to see about power sharing, which is the chapter 1 in your civics textbook. This will be the part 1 video. Before going into the video, I would like to give you an overview on this chapter. Till ninth standard, we have read about democracy and all the powers it has. But now we are going to know how these powers are shared among the organs and what are the patterns we have to share the power. So CPSC wants us to study a comparative study on Belgium and Sri Lanka. So let's get started, guys. So I would like to start with Belgium. As you all know, Belgium is a small country in the Europe continent. Here, Belgium is compared to a state of India, Haryana. They say that Belgium is even smaller than Haryana. This small country is bordered with four main countries: France, Netherlands, Germany, and Luxembourg. Repeat after me: France, Netherlands, Germany, Luxembourg. You nailed it, guys. Next, we are going to know about the population of Belgium. It's just over 1 crore, just half of the population of Haryana. So, as you can see, this small country has a ethnic composition. There are 59% of Dutch speaking people live in Flemish region. There are 40% of French speaking people live in Wallonia region, and even though this is the less amount, this community is the richest one, and 1% of German speaking people. This is the case in the whole country, but the more interesting thing is it has a more ethnic composition in its capital city, Brussels. It has 20% of Dutch speaking people and 80% of French speaking people. Here comes a problem into this smallest country. French minority were richer community, as I told you before. The Dutch was larger in number. There was conflict between two communities in 1950s to 60s. The problem was more acute in capital, as French were in majority in capital but minority in the country. What do you guys think about this unique problem? Let me know in the comment section below. So, let us know what the Belgian government has done for this. They have adopted accommodation policy. The path taken by Belgium was different from Sri Lankan majoritarian policy. So we are going to know about majoritarian policy a bit later. Between 1970 and 1993, they amended their constitution four times so as to work out an arrangement that would enable everyone to live together within the same country. So, do you guys know what does amendment mean? Amendment means the correction of the constitution. So this means Belgian people have amended their constitution four times. That is, they have corrected the constitution four times so as to it is working out for all the people throughout the country. So this is the case here. So what is the arrangement made? We are going to know about this here. Constitution prescribes that the number of Dutch and French speaking ministers shall be equal in the central government. So they are convincing themselves that there should be equal amount of ministers who speak Dutch and as well as French. Some special laws require the support of majority of members from each linguistic group. So you can ask me this question, then how will the majority will be chosen? So they have mentioned that they have some special laws for this majority. No single community can make decisions unilaterally. So with this arrangement itself, we will come to know this point. Many powers of the central government have been given to the state government of the two regions of the country. Okay, this is how they share their power. They share their power between central and state government. The state governments are not subordinate to the central government. What does this mean? This means that state government is independent of central government. Brussels has a separate government in which both the communities have equal representation. As you guys remember, we had a more acute problem in Brussels. So what they did is they gave a separate government to Brussels. The French speaking people accepted equal representation in Brazil because the Dutch speaking community has accepted equal representation in the central government. So this is a symbiotic relationship which is good for everyone in the country. Apart from the central and state government, there is a third kind of government. This is the community government to take care of the decisions for the communities. As we know, this small country has many communities in it. So this community government is an essential thing. So, what were the consequences on adopting this accommodation policy? A complicated constitution was framed. Do you guys know Belgium has the most complicated constitution ever in the world? Peace was established between all linguistic groups of Belgium, leading stability and a path opened for development of country. It is correct, right? If we have peace in the country only, we can concentrate on the development of the country. If the country itself has many tensions in it, and how will the country be concentrating on the development? Okay, a potential division of country was avoided. When many countries of Europe came together to form the European Union, Brussels was chosen as its headquarters. So, guys, these were the consequences on adopting the accommodation policy. So, by here we are completing the informations on Belgium. So, we are going to move on to Sri Lanka. Now we are going to compare Belgium with Sri Lanka. Before that, we will have a complete study on Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is an island nation. I think you guys know it. Just a few kilometers away off the southern coast of Tamil Nadu. The population is just 2 crores, which is the same as in Haryana. So, as we saw in Belgium, here also there is a ethnic composition. So, majorly it is divided into two groups. One is Sinhala speaking and the other is Tamil speaking. Where you can see this is divided into two subgroups. The Tamil speaking are divided into two subgroups, Indian Tamils and Sri Lankan Tamils. Tamil natives of the country are called Sri Lankan Tamils, and the rest whose forefathers came from India as plantation workers during the colonial period are known as Indian Tamils. And Sinhala speaking people are mostly Buddhists, and there were 7% of Christians in it. So that's all, guys, about the composition. Let's move on. Um, Actually, the problem in Sri Lanka was the majoritarianism. That is, Sinhala was in more amount, so they took majority. So they was dominant enough on Tamil people. So for that they chose the majoritarianism policy. Let's see what it is. Sri Lanka attained policy of majoritarianism, that is, the majority Sinhala speaking group made policies. I think so. This is unfair, right? Only Sinhala speaking people made policies. So give your comments in the comment section that were beneficiary for development of their culture and neglected minority Tamilians. So neglecting Tamilians is unfair. In 1956, an act was passed to recognize Sinhala as the only official language, thus disregarding Tamil. A new constitution stipulated that the state shall protect and foster Buddhism. They forced Buddhism on Tamilians. Sinhalas were preferred for universities and government jobs, and Tamils were not given any opportunity. So, let's see what all the consequences faced because of this policy. Tamils felt discrimination, opposed the policy of majoritarianism. It's true, right? Tamils won't have any rights over here. Conflict arose between both Tamils and Sinhala community. Demand of new independent Tamil state, that is Tamil Elam, arose. Tamil people demanded for a new part in the Sri Lanka, which was named as Tamil Elam. Tamil militants group was formed, for example, LTTE, Liberation Tigers of Tamil Elam. This was followed by civil war. I know you all have heard about this. This conflict caused loss of lives, properties, etc. This created hindrance in development of Sri Lanka. As we saw in Belgium, the country was totally in peace in the case of Belgium. So they were able to concentrate on the development. So in this case, Sri Lanka itself has its own tensions, so it is not able to concentrate in the Sri Lanka's development. Many families were forced to leave the country as refugees, and many more lost their livelihoods. We ourselves have seen many refugees, right? So, guys, this is the difference between Belgium and Sri Lanka. So, 10th CBSE board wants you to understand more clear. So, they ensure this by asking it as a compulsory question. Most of the papers, past 10 years papers contain this question of comparing the power sharing arrangement on these two countries. I would like you guys to concentrate on this. So thank you guys. That's all for today. Stay tuned to watch Power Sharing Part 2 coming soon. Bye bye. Take care.